I never thought a single punch could shatter everything I'd built. My perfect grades, my spotless reputation, the invisible armor I'd worn since freshman year. But there he was, Benjamin Hayes, blood trickling from his split lip, his green eyes blazing with a fury that mirrored my own hidden storm. "You think you're better than me." "Golden boy," he spat, and in that instant, I realized I wasn't fighting him. I was fighting the part of myself I'd buried so deep it ached. The rain-slick parking lot of Lincoln High in suburban Seattle blurred around us. The distant hum of Friday night traffic on I-5, the only witness to our unraveling. My fist throbbed, but was nothing compared to the raw terror clawing at my chest. What if this was the moment everyone saw through the facade? My name is Aiden Whitaker, and up until that rainy October evening in my senior year, I was the kid everyone envied. Straight A student, captain of the debate team, volunteer at the local food bank every Saturday. My parents, dad a high school principal in the next town over, mom a real estate agent with a smile that could sell a haunted house, had molded me into their ideal son, polite, ambitious, unbreakable. We lived in a tidy craftsman bungalow in Ballard, the kind with a white picket fence and a backyard barbecue every 4th of July. Church on Sundays, family game nights on Tuesdays. It was the American dream, sliced and served with a side of repression. But beneath the pressed khakis and the earnest speeches at school assemblies, I was a lie. I'd known I was gay since I was 14. When I caught myself staring too long at the quarterback's sweat-slick shoulders during gym class. It wasn't a phase. It was a secret that gnawed at me like termites in the walls of our perfect home. Coming out? In a town where the biggest scandal was Mr. Jenkins' divorce? Forget it. I'd rather die than see the disappointment in my father's eyes or the forced sympathy in my mother's. So I dated Emily Hargrove for 6 months junior year, sweet, oblivious Emily, who thought our hand-holding at prom was the height of romance. We never even kissed. It was safer that way. Then Benjamin Hayes transferred in from God knows where, some rough patch of Tacoma. Rumor had it, he slouched into Mr. Patel's AP Lit class on the first day of fall semester like he owned the place. All-leather jacket and scuffed boots. His blonde hair falling into eyes that looked like they'd seen too much too soon. The girls whispered about his tattoos peeking from his sleeves, a faded anchor on his forearm. Script I couldn't read curling around his wrist. The guys eyed him like a threat, and the teachers like a headache waiting to happen. He was trouble incarnate. Skipped half his classes, mouthed off in the halls, got suspended twice before Halloween for smoking behind the bleachers. But damn if he wasn't magnetic. The way he leaned back in his desk, smirking at the room like he knew every dirty secret, made my pulse stutter. I hated him for it. Hated how he'd catch my eye during lectures and hold it just a beat too long, like he could see the cracks in my armor. Once, during a group discussion on The Great Gatsby, he drawled, "Gatsby's a fool, chasing a ghost. Sometimes you gotta burn it all down to start fresh." His voice was low, gravelly, with that faint Pacific Northwest drawl that made my stomach twist. I avoided him like the plague. Stuck to my routine, study hall in the library, track practice at dawn, piano lessons after school. But Seattle's gray skies have a way of closing in, and by mid-October, the weight of it all, midterms, college apps TL, the annual Whitaker family pressure cooker, had me fraying at the edges. That's when he cornered me. It was after debate club, the fluorescent lights buzzing like angry hornets in the empty classroom. I was packing my notes when the door creaked open, and there he was, blocking the exit with that infuriating half-grin. "Whitaker," he said, like we'd been buddies forever. "Heard you're gunning for valedictorian. What's your secret? Sell your soul to the honor roll gods." I stiffened, shoving books into my backpack. Not everyone needs drama to get noticed. Hayes. He laughed, a sound that echoed too loud in the quiet room. Stepped closer. Close enough I could smell his cologne, something cheap and smoky, mixed with rain-damp leather. Drama? Nah, that's just living. You should try it sometime. Golden boy. Might loosen that stick up your ass. My face burned. I wanted to shove him, to tell him to back off. But my body betrayed me, heart hammering, palms slick. He lingered there, eyes flicking over me like he was piecing together a puzzle. Then, as suddenly as he'd appeared, he shrugged and sauntered out, leaving me shaking against the desk. That should have been the end of it. But Benjamin had other plans. The next week, during lunch, he plopped his tray down at my table, the one in the corner where the nerds and overachievers gathered to discuss SAT scores and Ivy League essays. Emily choked on her carrot stick. My best friend, Theo, raised an eyebrow but said nothing. Mind if I join the Losers Club? Benjamin asked, already digging into his mystery meat. I glared. There's a whole cafeteria. Hayes. Pick one, but this one's got the view. He nodded toward me, fork midway to his mouth. The table went silent. Emily giggled nervously. Theo cleared his throat. From then on, he was everywhere, borrowing my notes and calc, accidentally bumping me in the halls, showing up at the food bank one Saturday with a smirk and a stack of canned goods he'd probably swiped. Charity work suits you, Whitaker. Makes you look almost human. It infuriated me. He was chaos to my order, a storm cloud over my clear skies. But late at night, alone in my room with the city lights flickering through the blinds, I'd replay his words, his glances, wonder what it would be like to let go, just once. To be seen, really seen, without the mask. The breaking point came at the homecoming bonfire. Lincoln High's tradition, a massive pile of pallets torched on the football field. Kids huddled in hoodies against the chill wind off Puget Sound. I was there with Emily, playing the part, her arm looped through mine, laughing at lame jokes from the football team. But my eyes kept drifting to the shadows at the edge of the crowd, where Benjamin stood alone, nursing a flask that wasn't filled with hot chocolate. He caught me looking, straightened, threaded through the throng like he owned the night. Stopped inches away, breath fogging the air between us. Dance with me, he said. Not a question. Emily's grip tightened. Aiden's with me. Benjamin's gaze never left mine. Yeah? How's that working out for you? Wit. The words hung there, laced with something sharper than mockery. Challenge. Invitation. My throat went dry. Before I could think, he grabbed my wrist, not hard, but firm, and pulled me toward the makeshift dance area, where a scratchy playlist of indie rock blared from portable speakers. What the hell are you doing? I hissed, yanking free once we were in the flickering light. He spun me, like some cheesy rom-com, and leaned in close. Living, remember? Try it. We didn't dance. Not really. Just swayed awkwardly, his hand on my waist a brand through my sweater. The fire crackled, casting shadows that danced like demons on his face. Up close, he wasn't just trouble. He was broken edges and quiet pain. The anchor tattoo a map to storms I'd never weathered. Why me? I whispered, hating how vulnerable it sounded. His eyes softened, just a fraction. Because you're the only one who looks at me like I'm worth saving. The world tilted. His fingers brushed my jaw, thumb tracing the line of my stubble, unshaven from a long week. Time stretched. The bonfire's heat, nothing compared to the spark igniting in my chest. Then Emily's voice cut through. Aiden, everything okay? He dropped his hand like it had burned him. Step back, the mask slamming down. Yeah, just showing your boy how to loosen up. He walked away without another word, swallowed by the crowd. I stood there, heart pounding, the lie of my life cracking wider. Emily chattered on about the game, but all I could think was, what if he was right? What if burning it all down was the only way to breathe? Little did I know, Benjamin had secrets of his own, ones that would drag us both into the fire. The weeks that followed were a fever dream. Benjamin and I fell into a rhythm neither of us acknowledged. Stolen conversations in empty stairwells. Him waiting by my locker with a coffee, black. 2 sugars. Just how I liked it. Passed off as coincidence. He'd tease me about my preppy bullshit, but there was an undercurrent. A pull like gravity. One afternoon, after track, he showed up at the bleachers with a beat-up skateboard under his arm. Thought you could use a break from running in circles, he said, tossing me a helmet that smelled like old vinyl. I laughed, actually laughed, the sound foreign in my throat. You think I can even stand on that thing? Only one way to find out. He balanced it on the grass, steadying me as I wobbled on. His hands on my hips were steady, grounding. We spent the hour tumbling and laughing, the autumn leaves crunching underfoot, the distant ferry horn from Elliott Bay a melancholy soundtrack. By November, the touches lingered. A brush of knuckles in the hall. His knee against mine under the library table during a study session that devolved into debates about Kerouac versus Salinger. I told myself it was nothing, that I was straight as an arrow. But the dream said otherwise, nights tangled in sheets, his name on my lips like a prayer. Thanksgiving break hit like a gut punch. My family drove to my grandparents in Spokane. The I-90 corridor a blur of pine trees and regret. I stared out the window, replaying every moment, every almost kiss. Mom noticed my silence. Everything okay? Sweetie, you've been so distant. Just college stress, I lied, forcing a smile. Dad launched into his usual lecture about legacy, about making the Whitakers proud. I nodded along, the weight of it crushing. Back in Seattle, the first Monday after break, Benjamin was waiting. But he looked off. Dark circles under his eyes. Jaw tight. Miss me, he quipped, but it fell flat. Always, I said, too honest, and watched his walls slam up. That night, he texted, first time ever. Meet me at the pier. 10 p.m. Don't ask. I snuck out, heart in my throat, the city lights glittering like fallen stars on the water. Alki Beach was deserted, the Ferris wheel at the aquarium a distant glow. He was there, skipping stones into the sound, his jacket zipped to his chin against the bite. What's wrong? I asked. No preamble. He didn't look at me. My old man's back in town. Kicked me out again. Says I'm a disappointment. The words landed like stones in my gut. I'd heard whispers, Ben's dad. A washed-up fisherman with a rap sheet for DUIs and bar fights. Mom long gone. Some story about Vegas and bad choices. Where are you staying? Here and there. Motel, on Aurora. It's fine. It wasn't. I grabbed his arm. Stay with me. My parents are at a conference till Friday. He searched my face, something raw flickering in his eyes. You sure? I don't want to fuck up your perfect world. My world's already fucked, I admitted. Voice breaking. Please. He nodded. And just like that, he was in my room, backpack dumped by the bed, body curled on the guest futon. We didn't sleep much. Talked till dawn, his childhood in trailer parks, dodging his dad's rages, my suffocating perfection, the fear of being the gay son in a straight-laced family. At 3 a.m., as rain pattered the roof, he reached across the space between us. Our fingers laced. Simple. Electric. The next morning, I woke to him in the kitchen, burning toast and humming some grunge tune. It felt domestic. Dangerous. We spent the day wandering Pike Place Market, stalls overflowing with salmon and tulips, the air thick with salt and coffee. He bought me a bouquet of wildflowers from a vendor, shoved it at me with a gruff, "Don't make it weird." I didn't. That night, on the couch watching old episodes of The X-Files, his head found my shoulder, my arm draped around him. We didn't cross lines, just held on, two boys adrift in a sea of unspoken truths. Friday came too soon. My parents returned, all smiles and stories from Portland. Benjamin slipped out before dawn, leaving a note. "Thanks for the harbor. Don't drown out there. Wit." I didn't see him for a week. School dragged. Rumors swirled about a fight at a house party. Ben versus some jock. Broken bottle involved. My texts went unanswered. Worry gnawed at me like acid. Then, the punch. Literal and figurative. It was after school. The parking lot emptying under a sky bruised purple. I'd spotted his beat-up Ford pickup, idling by the chain-link fence. He was inside, arguing with someone on the phone, voice raised. I said no. "Dad, I'm done bailing you out." The call ended. He slammed the dash. Then saw me. Stepped out. Face a mask of strain. Aiden, whatever he was about to say died, as Jake Harlan, the quarterback I'd faked crushes on for years, sauntered up with his posse. Jake, with his all-American grin and homophobic jokes that passed for locker room banter. "Hayes, you queer little shit, stay away from my sister. Or I'll." The slur hit like a slap. Benjamin's fists clenched. "Your sister's the one chasing me." "Asshole." Jake swung. Benjamin dodged, countering with a hook that split the bigger guy's lip. Chaos erupted, shouts, grapples. I don't know what possessed me. Maybe the rage at Jake's word, echoing every fear I'd buried. Maybe the protectiveness surging for Ben. I lunged, my fist connecting with Jake's jaw. He staggered, then roared, tackling me to the wet asphalt. Punches flew. Pain exploded in my ribs, my cheek. Benjamin hauled Jake off, but not before the damage, blood on my shirt, gravel embedded in my palms. Sirens wailed in the distance. Teachers spilled from the building like ants from a hill. In the melee's aftermath, as cops separated us, Benjamin's eyes met mine. Not fury. Fear. "Run," he mouthed, but it was too late. My perfect world shattered, and the real storm was just beginning. The principal's office smelled like stale coffee and regret, the kind that seeps into the walls of every American high school. Mr. Reynolds, with his comb-over and perpetual frown, paced behind his desk while my parents sat ramrod straight on the vinyl chairs, Mom's hand clutching mine like a lifeline. Dad's face was thunder, veins bulging at his temples. The principal's badge on his own jacket suddenly feeling like a noose around my neck. "Aiden Whitaker, Mr." Reynolds said, sliding his suspension notice across the desk. "Fighting on school grounds. Assault. This isn't like you." I stared at the floor, tasting copper from the cut on my lip. Assault. The word echoed, heavy as the handcuffs they'd threatened but not used. Jake Harlan had walked away with a fat lip and a story about defending his honor. Benjamin? They'd hauled him off in the back of a squad car. Destination juvie pinning his dad's signature on the release forms. I hadn't seen him since the lot. Since that last desperate look. "It's a misunderstanding," Mom interjected, her voice steady but her eyes red-rimmed. "Aiden's never been in trouble. He's our straight-A boy. Straight A." The irony burned hotter than the ice pack on my knuckles. Dad leaned forward, elbows on knees. "Son, what the hell were you thinking? Throwing punches like some street thug? Over what, that Hayes kid?" The room spun. Over Benjamin. God, if they only knew. He was defending himself, I muttered. Jake started it. Called him a name. "Mister." Reynolds cleared his throat. "We have witnesses." Jake says Hayes provoked him. And you jumped in? This looks bad. Aiden. For college recs. For everything. Everything. My Yale dream. The scholarships. The valedictorian speech I'd scripted in my head. Gone. Or at least scarred. Mom squeezed my hand tighter. We'll appeal. Ground him. Whatever. But he's a good kid. They suspended me for a week. Benjamin? 2. Plus mandatory counseling. As we left, Dad's grip on my shoulder was iron. We're talking about this at home. No more hanging with that delinquent. Home was a minefield. The craftsman felt smaller. The family photos on the mantel mocking me. Smiling Aiden at Eagle Scout ceremonies. Debate trophies gleaming. Dinner was silent torture. Fork scrapes. Mom's forced chatter about listings in Queen Inn. Dad finally exploded over pie. What is it with you and Hayes? You defending him like he's family? The boy's got a record, shoplifting, truancy. His father's a drunk. Aiden. He's poison. He's not. I stopped. Throat closing. Not poison. Not to me. But the words stuck, tangled in lies. Mom's eyes softened. Honey, we just want what's best. You're going places. Don't let distractions derail you. Distractions. If only. That night, I texted Benjamin from my phone, hidden under the covers. You okay? Where are you? Hours passed. Then motel. Fine. Stay away. Wit. For your sake. My sake. It stung like betrayal. I paced my room. The city skyline, a hazy glow beyond the window. Seattle, with its coffee shops and grunge ghosts, had always felt like a cocoon, progressive on the surface. But underneath, the same old judgments. Gay kids at school? Tolerated. Maybe, if they were quiet. But me, the principal's son, fighting for the town bad boy, scandal material for the Stranger Alternative Weekly. The suspension blurred days into nights. I volunteered extra at the food bank, sorted cans till my hands chafed. Anything to avoid the house. Theo visited once, awkward with concern. Dude, what happened? You and Ben? Nothing, I lied. Stacking boxes. But Theo's knowing look said he wasn't buying it. He was the only one I'd confided in halfway, late-night confessions about Emily. About the confusion. If you say so. But if you need to talk. I didn't. Couldn't. Instead, I drove to the motel on Aurora Avenue. Neon sign flickering vacancy, the lot littered with cigarette butts and regret. Room 12. Door ajar. Benjamin was inside, sprawled on the sagging bed, a half-empty fifth of Jack on the nightstand. Bruises bloomed on his ribs. Shirt rucked up from sleep. Jesus. Aiden. I said stay away. I shut the door, leaning against it. Too bad. You look like shit. He snorted, sitting up. Winced. Pot. Kettle. Your folks disown you yet? Not yet. I crossed to him, sat on the bed's edge. The room smelled of stale smoke and cheap soap. What happened after? He rubbed his face. Dad showed. Sign me out. Then we fought. Again. Threw me a beating for embarrassing the family. Then he split for Alaska, some crab boat gig. Left me with a bill. Rage boiled in me. Hot and helpless. You can't stay here. Come back to. No. Sharp. Final. Your world's too clean for my mess. Last thing you need is me dragging you down. You're not dragging. I faltered. You're everything. The words hung unspoken. Instead, I touched his hand, tracing the tattoo. What does it say? The script. He hesitated, then turned his wrist. Not all who wander are lost. Tolkien. Faded blue ink. Mom's favorite. Before she bailed, the vulnerability cracked something in me. I pulled him close, not thinking, just needing. He stiffened, then melted, head on my shoulder. We sat like that, breaths sinking, the world's ugliness locked outside. His fingers found mine, lacing tight. Aiden. This. Us. It's dangerous. I know, but I didn't pull away. Didn't want to. We talked till the bottle emptied. His dreams of art school in Portland. Sketching ships and storms. My terror of Yale's fishbowl, where secrets shriveled under scrutiny. At midnight, he kissed my knuckles, soft as a promise. You're braver than you think. Wit. No one had ever called me brave. Reckless. Maybe. Stupid. Definitely. But brave? It lodged in my chest, warm against the cold. School resumed like walking a tightrope. Whispers followed me. Whitaker's gone rogue. Jake avoided my eyes in the halls. But his friends sneered. Emily dumped me via text. This isn't you. Aiden, freeing me in the cruelest way. Benjamin and I kept distance in public. Nods in class. Notes passed like contraband. But after hours, stolen moments multiplied. Coffee runs to the Elliott Bay Book Company, where he'd read me poetry from dog-eared Ginsberg volumes, his voice wrapping around words like howl till I shivered. Winter crept in, Christmas lights twinkling along the waterfront. My parents noticed a change. Less piano, more studying. Dad cornered me one night. This A's influence ends now. I hear you're skipping debate for. What? Skateboarding. It's nothing, I said, but my voice cracked. He sighed, hand on my shoulder. Son, I know pressure's high, but you're better than this. Don't throw it away on someone who'll leave you in the dust. Leave you. The fear echoed Benzone. I nodded, hating the lie. New Year's Eve, we escaped to Gasworks Park, rusted industrial skeletons silhouetted against fireworks blooming over Lake Union. The air crackled with possibility. We climbed the hill, breath fogging, hands brushing as midnight neared. Happy New Year, he murmured, as the first rocket burst. Then he kissed me. Not tentative, a full, desperate press of lips, tasting of peppermint and salt. My world narrowed to him, calloused hands in my hair, body fitting against mine like it was made for it. I kissed back, fierce, pouring every hidden ache into it. When we broke, gasping, he rested his forehead to mine. I love you, Aiden. God help me. Love. The word detonated. I love you too, I whispered, and meant it. Terrifying, true, but love in Seattle's shadows is fragile. February brought storms, literal and not. Benjamin's dad returned, broke and begging. Ben wired money he didn't have, skipped shifts at the garage to cover. Arguments flared. You can't save him. I'd yell. He's all I got, he'd snap. Then the bomb dropped. Anonymous email to the school board. Ask Whitaker about his boyfriend. Pictures attached. Blurry shots from the bonfire. Our dance. Jake's doing. No doubt. Dad found out mid-March. Bursting into my room post-dinner. Phone in hand. Is this true? Face ashen. Voice breaking. Aiden. Are you gay? The word hung. Unspoken. Mom hovered in the doorway. Tears streaming. We love you. No matter what. But this, fighting, sneaking, it's destroying you. It's not, but it was. The suspension stain lingered. Yale defer my app. And Benjamin? He pulled away, convinced he was the ruin. We can't, he said one rainy night at the pier, waves crashing like accusations. Your life's ahead. Mine's a wreck. Let me go. No. I grabbed his jacket. We fight together. He shook his head, eyes wet. I lied. Aiden. About Mom. She didn't leave for Vegas. She killed herself. Pills. After Dad's last binge, I found her. That's why I can't. I break everything I touch. The confession gutted me. Hugged him as he shattered, sobs racking his frame. Held him till dawn, whispering, "You don't break me. You fix me." But fixes are temporary. April brought the real betrayal, not Ben's, but fate's cruel twist. Spring in Seattle is a tease, sun one day, deluge the next. By late April, the cherry blossoms lined our streets like pink promises, but mine felt wilted. Benjamin's revelation had bonded us deeper, or so I thought. We navigated the minefield, secret meetups at hidden viewpoints overlooking the sound, notes in lockers quoting ye. Cummings, I carry your heart with me. But the email scandal lingered like exhaust fumes. Dad watched me like a hawk. Mom's hugs longer, laced with unspoken pleas. We're proud of you, Aiden. Just be careful, careful. The word chafed. At school, the whispers evolved, not just Troublemaker's pet, but slurs scrawled on my locker, Fag Whitaker. I scrubbed them off, jaw set, but inside, the fear festered. Benjamin confronted Jake in the bathroom one lunch, fists clenched, voices low. Touch him again, and you're done. Jake smirked. Jealous? Haze? Or just scared he'll wise up to your psycho ass? I pulled Ben away before blows landed, but the tension coiled tighter. We needed air, escape. So I planned it, a weekend in the Olympics. My parents' cabin on Lake Crescent. Key swipe from the junk drawer. Lie about a solo retreat for college essays. Ben hesitated. Your folks will kill you. Worth it. I kissed his doubts away. Friday after school, we drove the winding 101 in his rattling Ford. Windows down, Nirvana blasting from the tape deck. Hood Canal sparkled under patchy sun. We stopped at a roadside stand for geoduck clams, laughing as Ben mangled the pronunciation. Geoduck sounds like a bad superhero. By dusk, the cabin emerged, log walls nestled in evergreens. The lake a mirror of mountains. No cell service, no world. Just us. We built a fire on the dock, stars pricking the velvet sky. Ben sketched me by firelight, charcoal smudging his fingers. You're beautiful, he said, simple as truth. That night, tangled in flannel sheets, we explored each other, not with urgency, but reverence. Hands mapping scars and freckles, lips tracing collarbones, breaths mingling in the dark. It was love made physical, tender and profound. Forever, he whispered against my skin. I believed him. Saturday dawned crisp. We hiked to Merrimere Falls, mist kissing our faces, hands linked on the trail. Picnicked on a mossy bank, PB&J and stolen beers, talking futures. Portland, he said. Art school. You at Yale. We'll make it work. Weekends on the train. I nodded, but doubt whispered. Distance. Secrets. How long before the world pried us apart? Sunday checkout brought reality crashing. My phone, charged in the car, exploded with voicemails. Dad, where are you? Call now. Mom. Frantic. Aiden. Please. Then Theo, dude. Bad news. Ben's dad. He's dead. Overdose. Cops called the school. The road blurred through tears. Ben drove, white-knuckled, silent. We hit Seattle as rain lashed the windshield. Pulling into his motel, now eviction notice taped to the door. Inside, chaos, trash bags of clothes. Dad's old fishing gear strewn like accusations. Ben sank to the floor, head in hands. He's gone. Really gone. I knelt, held him as grief poured out, rage at the man who'd beaten him down, guilt for the relief flickering beneath. You couldn't save him, Ben. No one could. Hours later, social services called. Ben, 18 but barely, shuffled to a group home in Tacoma till graduation. Temporary, the caseworker said. But temporary felt like exile. School became hell. Ben withdrew, a ghost in the halls, eyes hollow, sketches crumpled in his bag. I pushed, "Talk to me." He'd shrug. Nothing to say. Then the misunderstanding that gutted us. Mid-May, I overheard Jake in the locker room, crowing to his crew. Ace, total con. His mom's not dead. Ran off with some rich dude. And get this, he's been playing Whitaker for cash. Stole from the food bank fund. Blamed it on needy families. Principal's son footing the bill? Pathetic. Lies. Had to be. But doubts seeded. Ben's money woes. The sudden absences. That night, I confronted him at the pier, waves churning black. Is it true? Voice steady. Barely. The theft? Using me? His face crumpled. Aiden. No. Jake said. Fuck Jake. He grabbed my arms. My mom's dead. Pills in the tub. I lied about Vegas too. To make it less real. But the money? Dad pawned everything. I borrowed from the fund, $50, to fix the truck. Meant to pay back. Swear. Borrowed. The word twisted like a knife. You used me. My family's name. It wasn't like that. Desperation cracked his voice. I love you. I'd never, but I pulled away. The hurt too raw. I need space. Walked into the rain, leaving him shouting my name. Days blurred into agony. I threw myself into finals. Aced them on autopilot. Ignored his texts. Please, talk. It's not what you think. Mom noticed. Drew me into hugs. Heartbreak's part of growing up. Sweetie. But you're strong. Strong. Right? Inside, I shattered. Theo confirmed the theft rumor. Petty, but real. Ben had confessed to Mr. Reynolds. Repaid anonymously. Mistake. Not malice. But the damage festered. Every glance in the hall a stab. Every empty seat at lunch a void. Graduation loomed. Caps and gowns a farce. Rehearsal day. Ben cornered me backstage in the auditorium. Aiden, listen. The money was a loan for Dad's bail. He promised to repay. Then he OD'd. I was scared to tell you. Thought you'd see me as broken. I already saw you that way. Cruel, but true. And loved you for it. But this, it feels like betrayal. Tears tracked his cheeks. Then let me fix it. After grad party. Meet me at the park. Please. I nodded. Numb. The ceremony passed in haze, diplomas handed. Applause thundering. My speech, on perseverance, rang hollow. Dad beamed from the audience. Mom snapping photos. Ben's name called. He crossed the stage alone. No family to cheer. That night, the senior party at Golden Gardens roared. Bonfire on the beach. Kegs hidden in dunes. The Olympics a dark silhouette across the water. I nursed a soda, dodging well-wishers. Jake approached, slurring. Whitaker, your boy's a thief. Deserves the gutter. Shut up, I snapped, shoving past. But the words lingered. Poison. Midnight, I slipped away to Discovery Park, our spot. The lighthouse beam sweeping like a searchlight. Ben was there, under the cherry trees, petals carpeting the ground. I brought this, held out a sketch pad. Pages filled with us, my laugh lines. Our hands linked, future sketched in pencil strokes. It's not enough, I said, voice thick. You should have trusted me. I know. He stepped closer. But I do now. All in. The kiss was desperate. A dam breaking. Petals swirled as we clung. Salt of tears mixing with rain-kissed skin. Forgive me, he begged. I Words died as shouts echoed from the path. Shadows emerged. Jake and 3 others, drunk and belligerent. Ferry reunion. Jake sneered, bottle glinting. Walk away, Ben growled, shoving me behind him. Jake lunged. The fight exploded, fists, grunts, the thud of bodies on earth. Ben took the brunt, protecting me, but I dove in, tackling one off him. Pain bloomed, elbow to ribs, boot to thigh. Then a crack, glass shattering. Jake's bottle swung wild, caught Ben's temple. He crumpled, blood pooling dark on petals. No, I screamed, cradling his head. Sirens wailed distant, party-goers scattered. Jake bolted, face pale. Ambulance, I yelled into the void. The ER was fluorescent hell, beeps, shouts. Mom and Dad bursting through doors, faces ashen. Aiden, oh God, Mom sobbed. Ben's gash needed stitches, concussion. Overnight observation. Foster system notified, but I refused to leave his side. Curled in the chair, holding his hand till dawn. I'm sorry, I whispered. Don't leave me. He stirred, eyes fluttering. Never. But Jake's crew pinned it on us. Mutual brawl. Self-defense be damned. Charges loomed. Assault with a deadly weapon. Ben, with his record, faced juvie till trial. Me? Misdemeanor. But the scandal sealed Yale's door. Dad raged in the hall. This ends now. No more of this. This insanity. Insanity. Love. Same difference in their eyes. Discharge day. Ben signed papers for the group home. I drove him. Silence thick. At the Tacoma threshold, sterile dorms. Kids with hollow eyes, he turned. Go to college. Be free. You think I can without you? His smile broke. Yeah, you can. The kiss goodbye was ash. I drove away. Tears blinding. Seattle's spires mocking my ruin. Summer scorched. Job at the food bank. Endless shifts sorting amid pitying glances. Letters from Ben, stiff envelopes. Words of encouragement laced with ache. Drawing again. Miss you. I wrote back. Poured my soul. Yale waitlisted. Community college in fall. Closer to you. Dad's disappointment was a living thing. Dinners tense. His job whispers of my troubled son. Mom mediated, but cracks showed. We didn't raise you for this, Dad said one night. You didn't raise me at all, I shot back. You raised a trophy. The fight escalated, yells echoing the bungalow. Mom in tears. Aiden's gay. Tom, accept it. Dad froze. What? I stood tall. Yeah, gay. And in love with Ben. Deal with it. Silence. Then sobs. Dad walked out, door slamming. Hours later, he returned, arms open. I'm sorry. I don't understand, but I love you. It wasn't perfect, but it was start. Trial came in August, juvenile court, Tacoma. Jake's lies unraveled under cross. Video from a partygoer's phone showed him swinging first. Charges dropped for Ben, community service for all. The judge, a grizzled vet with kind eyes, eyed us. Boys your age. Love makes fools of us. Learn from it. Outside, Ben and I collided, hug fierce, world fading. Free, he breathed. But freedom's price, Ben's group home till 19. My community college deferral. We vowed Portland for him, Seattle for me. Trains between. Yet the high crashed. September. First day at Seattle Central. Syllabi. New faces. Ben's letter arrived. Got into PNCA. Fall quarter. But scholarship fell through. Might defer. Panic clawed. I scraped savings. Bought a bus ticket. Tacoma foster office. He's gone. Packed last night. Note for you. The note. Can't drag you down forever. Love too much. Find your light. Wit. Be. Gone. Betrayal anew? Not malice, but sacrifice. I searched hostels, peers, art supply stores. Days blurred into desperation. Dad helped. Quietly contacts. Flyers. We'll find him. Sun. October rain. I hit the streets, Pike Place. Under awnings. Voice hoarse. Benjamin Hayes. Blonde. Tattoo. Then. The pier. Our pier. He sat on the bench. Sketchpad open to my face. Eyes red-rimmed. You left, I accused, collapsing beside him. Thought it was best. Voice small. You're Yale-bound. I'm nothing. Yale waitlisted. And you're everything. I pulled the acceptance from community. Then the real bomb. Yale appeal granted. Probationary. With essay on resilience. But I choose you. Us. His sob broke free. We clung as storm raged. Waves mirroring turmoil. The months that followed were a rebuild. Slow. Deliberate. Like piecing a mosaic from shards. Benjamin crashed at the cabin weekends. My parents' uneasy truce evolving into acceptance. Dad grilled him over burgers one Labor Day. Art school. Huh. Better than punching jocks. Ben nodded. Wary. But Mom slipped him seconds. Her smile tentative warmth. Fall quarter at PNCA suited him. Life drawing. Ink bleeding into visions of ships and lovers entwined. He commuted from a shared apartment in Selwood, crashing on our couch when funds dipped. I thrived at Seattle Central, Psych 101, essays on identity that bled my soul onto pages. Nights, we'd wander Capitol Hill, rainbow flags fluttering like beacons, dive bars pulsing with queer anthems. First time in The Stranger, holding hands unashamed, felt like revolution. But scars linger. Ben's nightmares woke us, screams of Mom, or Dad's slurred rages. I'd hold him till dawn, whispering, you're safe. My own demons, Yale shadow, Dad's sidelong glances of pride stickers on my laptop. Proud of you, he'd say, awkward but real. Progress. Thanksgiving. We hosted Ben's first real family meal. Turkey carved, pie baked, his sketches on the fridge. He teared up over mashed potatoes. This. Normal. Thanks. Winter break. Road trip south, Portland's food carts. Then Crater Lake under snow. In a roadside motel. Fire crackling. He proposed, not ring, but vow. Build this with me? No running. Always. Our love deepened. Conversations till coffee went cold. Bodies familiar as home. No rush. Just presence. Spring brought decisions. Yale full ride. But distance loomed. Ben's exhibit at PNCA raw. Emotional. Sold 3 pieces. Stay, he asked. Paint flecked hands in mine. I chose Seattle U. Transfer seamless. Psych major aligned. Here. With you. Graduation loomed dual. His associates. My sophomore year. Ceremony at the quad. Cherry blossoms in full riot. Petals like confetti. Ben in cap and gown. Anchor tattoo peeking. Crossed the stage to whoops from my family. Dad clapped hardest. After party at the bungalow. Lantern strung. Grill smoking. Ben pulled me aside. Under the eaves. Remember the bonfire? Thought that was peak. Now's better. Kiss soft. Enduring. But life twists. June. Ben's aunt surfaced. Mom's sister. Vegas showgirl turned counselor. Heard about your dad. Want you to know. Family. She offered stability. Co-signed for his apartment. Art supplies. Ben hesitated. Don't need pity. Not pity. Legacy. She hugged him. Fierce. He softened. Summer job. Ben bartending at a hill dive. Me interning at a youth center. LGBTQ plus outreach. Counseling kids like we'd been. One night, a 15-year-old confessed his crush on a class clown. Scared to say, tell him, I advised. Ben's hand warm on my knee. Worth the risk. Echoes of us. Fall. His junior year. Thesis on grief and ink. Mine. Paper on hidden identities. Dedicated to BH, the light and shadows. Then the call. October. Gray skies. Ben's aunt. Voice trembling. Cancer. Stage 4. Fast. We drove Vegas. Highway blurring. Hospital sterile. Her bed a battlefield. Take care of each other, she rasped, handing Ben an envelope. Mom's letters. Unsent confessions of love amid pain. You're enough. She passed midnight. Ben shattering in my arms. Funeral small. Slots chiming outside. Her laugh and memories. He read a sketch. Her as Phoenix. Rising. Back in Seattle. Grief hollowed him. Sketches dark. Nights pacing. What if I'm cursed? He'd whisper. You're not. I'd counter, pulling him close. You're healing. Counseling helped. Group for queer youth. Stories mirroring ours. Slowly, color returned. New tattoos. A ship beside the anchor. We sail on. Thanksgiving again. Dad's toast. To family, blood and chosen. Ben smiled genuine. Winter solstice. Under cherry trees, now bare. Promising bloom, we exchange promises. No rings yet, future's fluid. Marry me, he asked. Snowflakes in hair. When we're ready, kiss sealed it. Spring exhibit, his magnum opus us. From bonfire shadows to dawnlight. Sold out. Critic in the Oregonian. Hayes captures love's grit and grace. Raw Americana. Yale? Deferred indefinitely. Seattle you suited. Psych grad school, Beck and local. Graduation his, bachelor's in fine arts. Me cheering loudest. Party at the pier, waves gentle. Stars witnesses. To unexpected loves I toasted. You pull me close. To resisting nothing. Years folded, his gallery shows. My counseling practice, specializing in queer youth. Cabin weekends. Parents' pride swelling. Dad's retirement bash. Aiden's the real principal now, guiding hearts. One evening. Alki Beach sunset, same as our first real talk. Ben. Easel set. Sketched the horizon. Remember the punch? I laughed. Best mistake. He turned. Eyes green as ever. Best truth. We walked. Hands linked. Seattle's lights winking. No perfection, scars. Doubts. Storms. But love, unbreakable. In America's messy heart. Two boys proved. Resistance is futile when souls entwine. And in that, grace.